In the last episode, we saved this 1967 Pontiac Firebird from the woods in Talkeetna, Alaska. We're putting a 2-liter LTG turbocharged GM Ecotec engine in our 1967 Firebird. This swap is definitely a little bit unconventional, and this build series aims to document just exactly how we accomplish the swap so that others are able to follow in our footsteps.
Right, so what we've bought here is a 1967 Pontiac Firebird 326 that we pulled out of the woods in Talkeetna, Alaska. Upon discovering the engine was completely seized up, we decided that we should just go and retrofit in a complete new drivetrain in this. To help seal the floors back up, we're going to use some POR 15. I'm going to go ahead and brush on a nice coat of black here in the floors. That way we can seam seal and attach these floor plugs back into the floor pans again. And then we'll put down sound deadening and new carpet.
Just like magic, the lid comes off. Well, the POR is laying down awesome. Totally transforms the rusted floors, that's for sure.
Well, we got the driver's side all laid down with some new paint over there. Seals that up nicely. Now we're gonna go ahead and paint this side. That was a messy job, but we got the floor pans all painted with the POR 15. We're gonna go ahead and coat the trunk in the POR 15 now so that we can restore this and put down a nice coat of Zillatone on top of it. This trunk is like one of the most solid trunks I've ever seen in a first-gen F-body, especially a 67. I mean, even underneath these plates is the original paint under that undercoating. Just absolutely nuts.
So it worked great as a primer. Prior to putting down the a primer kind of sealer layer before putting the Zillatone on top of it again.
The trunk's all painted with a nice coat of POR 15, except for the original parts of the spatter paint that are still in good shape. Talk about a solid trunk, that is so cool. What a barn find. Same goes for the interior. Gotta just wait for the paint to dry, and then we can start putting down our sound deadening and new carpet.
Next, we have the world's best sound deadener. It says, no prep, no heat gun, peel and stick, adhesion is guaranteed. Okay.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That looks awesome. I'd say just keep blasting it out of there if you can. Wild and windy out here. Wow, that looks pretty good. Aaron did a nice job on that. So it's a 2019 Chevrolet Camaro. The engine we're looking for is a 2-liter. Anyways, my question was, when they pull the motor, is that going to be like pretty much a complete assembly?
No, it won't be complete. We guarantee long block, so no drive accessories, no turbo.
So it's
We'll have like intake injectors, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering. Okay, so that probably isn't going to work actually for our application then. Thanks for your help, and we'll give you a ring if we need anything else.
Sounds good, thank
LKQ
you.
fail.
You have reached Connect Towing and Wrecking. If you are looking for full-time employment and have salvage yard experience or strong automotive skills, please apply. Please note we will be closed December 24th through the 26th for Christmas and December 31st through January 2nd for New Year.
Okay, we're hanging that up. So we're headed to Northwest Auto Parts, a local junkyard here in Anchorage that has a lot of engines for sale. They have a Chevy Malibu LTG 2-liter engine. So we're gonna go take a look at that and see if maybe that will work. Hopefully it's like still complete. It's already pre-pulled out of the car, so we're gonna go back and see if they'll let us view it and see what kind of shape it's in. Historically, when I bought engines from Northwest, they're usually only missing the alternator and the starter. And otherwise they're complete with the exhaust and everything on it, just like sawed off. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Looks mostly all there, I think, at first glance. Safety third. Let's pull around back and get it loaded up. Cool, well, we got the motor. We're gonna try and turn around here at Northwest. That was a great deal for that engine. This is gonna be super cool.
It keeps getting better and better by the day, especially with the new storyline that just evolved at this afternoon.
Yes. Quite the storyline. Aaron is gonna be flying to New Jersey to pick up a truck so that we can get the subframe and then bring the subframe all the way back to Anchorage. Aaron's gonna go pick up my dad's new truck in New Jersey. My favorite tool.
Well, there you go.
Well, we got the engine all pressure washed and cleaned up. This thing looks great. I mean, I guess it only has 30,000 miles. If you want to just set it in there, I could probably slide it in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we just got the Tremec transmission for the LTG 2-liter from Span Alaska here in Anchorage.
That looks amazing.
Fuel pump modules priming there.
The land of 10,000 modules that also like to go bad randomly.
Just to recap there, what it actually is a HEIDTS complete new subframe for the Firebird. I'm surprised this didn't get more wet with you like driving through like full thunderstorms and everything.
Yeah, that tarp did its job.
I guess so. You really wrapped this up. This is crazy. This is ready to be like shipped across the U.S.
Sir, it just was.
Well, driven across the U.S.
Sir, it just was.
Okay, well, a lot of this is real light. Interesting. This is actually lighter than a Nissan Contemporary original subframe.
Oh, so much lighter.
It's pretty good. Is yours way heavier than this? Because this is pretty light.
Yeah, I think we got like the whole weight.
Okay.
Let's just...
That is AR Pro G standard caster. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Oh, it's so small. What the?
Look at how nice the welds are. That's all tigged up like nobody's business.
Look at those welds. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Wow, that's cool. I sure hope these two Phillips screws screwed into the ceiling will be able to support the weight of all this.
Oh, geez. Well, worst case is it all comes crashing down. I mean,
It's not going to bend this stuff, but it might
chip the concrete.
Yep.
Let's open up some of these other boxes that we've got over here.
Okay, we gotta
Actually,
clean up some stuff over here first. That is a stout sway bar.
nice. Well, where is this gonna hang?
Coil springs, silver.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Oh yeah. What is that?
These are the uprights for the rear IRS. So these are what the wheel hubs bolt onto.
No, what is it used for a wheel hub? I wonder.
That's like a C7 Corvette sealed hub.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So what this is a 326 Pontiac motor. It's kind of correct. It's not a numbers matching motor to the car. It's like the right period of motor, but unfortunately, despite our best attempts, the motor appears to be locked up.
This car is not anything to write home about. It's nothing special. It's just an automatic factory V8 Pontiac Firebird with a full down.
Wait, there is something special about it. It has air conditioning.
Oh yes, air conditioning, yep. So what we found out about the engine is that there's no oil in it. The oil pan is actually dented up in the bottom. It doesn't have a hole in it, but there's no oil on the dipstick and nothing in it. So we think that maybe someone ran the thing out of oil and locked up the motor at some point, and that's why it's been parked in the woods for years. We are going to weigh the 67 Firebird in its stock form with our vehicle scales. That way, we get what the weight distribution is before we modify this car. and put the scales under it.
I think the overarching theme of this car is don't get it right, get it running.
Yes, don't get it right, get it running. Hopefully it doesn't fall off those jack stands. Ta-da! Like I said,
World's best body work right here.
definitely.
Yeah, it looks like it's rolling just fine.
That is slammed. Seriously? This only weighs 2,900?
Seriously.
2,977 it says. That's it?
It's 60.6 front, 20 or 40.4 rear. I think we can improve on that.
We can definitely improve on that with our new 2-liter LTG swap 6-speed manual, the HEIDTS front subframe, and the HEIDTS IRS in the back.
So with seats removed,
It's 2,977.
2977.
Yeah, this is our benchmark 60-40 weight distribution. So now at least we know what our weight distribution was before we do the new chassis.
Okay, so what do we need to pull apart on this engine? I'm thinking. Mouse had its way with the wiring. Oh, geez.
The master cylinder lines weren't even tight. The lines are still like in perfect condition, just unscrewed right out of here.
That's crazy.
Look, that connection is still perfect too. It's like brand new.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of feels like a hack taking this all apart, but for the greater good, the engine's a piece of junk, unfortunately.
Josh, I hope it comes loose.
Well, you know what they say.
Knock her loose.
Knock her loose. Not sponsored by that. At the time of making this video, we are making $0.00 from any YouTube video.
Right, so we have everything prepped for paint. This is the entire chassis, complete with IRS thingamabobs, for lack of a more scientific acronym.
Lower control arms, you mean?
That would be thingamabobs to use, sir.
Yep.
Next, you just need to mask all this stuff off. These little bits and pieces. Spray it with epoxy, base coat, and some matte clear coat. It's going to look absolutely amazing. So now that we have everything prepped, we are going to spray it with epoxy sealer, some base coat, and some matte clear. The epoxy is the best thing for the buck, in my opinion. Get out of the box here.
So sticky, it sticks right in.
I know, Wanda 7000. It's good stuff. Kind of like a light gray, which is nice. So that's the sealer, so that's a direct metal epoxy. We've got some delicious, let's see.
They're in the paint shaker.
I guess so.
Got to improvise when you don't have the equipment.
Used to have the equipment, don't have the equipment anymore. So this is kind of a fun color. Like a really cool metallic silver with some pearl in it. That's gonna be the color of the chassis parts. And then that will be top coated by, this is a matte clear coat made by POR 15. And as per the owner of the company has described, it doesn't use any additives to flatten it. It's actually the curing process. It's a polyurethane clear. So this activates the curing process in this stuff. It kind of sprays a little funky. It's really kind of chunky. I don't know if that's how you describe it, but it's a very thick activator. So it mixes together. Like when you open this gallon, it's meant to mix together as a complete activated gallon. So it's only like full of matte clear in here. But this almost looks like something you put over like an oil pastel drawing or something. I don't know how to describe it. It almost looks like an acrylic sealer, like what you put on your concrete floor. It's kind of like a purple color when you open the can. And
Strange.
yeah. Anyways, don't let the appearance of this product unactivated deceive you, because once it's mixed up, it's actually super duper strong, and it's a polyurethane activated. Flattens out by the curing process, not with an additive. So it's dependable, it doesn't model, and it doesn't change depending on your spraying technology or application technique. So you won't have any tiger striping with it, which is super cool. And that's why I like this stuff.
Non-yellowing as well, it says. So we're going to paint this stuff in a really cool metallic base coat he showed you, and then coat it with the POR matte clear for a super cool finish when this is all underneath our patina build.
Time to mix some paint. 3 to 1.
3 to 1. 3 to 1. I've got this Sada 1500 that I'm going to be spraying it with. This has a 1/4 tip with an HVLP air cap.
Perfect.
This does have a little bit of viscosity to it, so it's thicker than like a urethane sealer would be. But I have a little bit more mil thickness per coat, which is nice.
Good for rust protection. It's a nice balmy 52 degrees outside, and inside it's about...
Weather. The most important thing here is it's raining, so the dust will be hopefully less of an issue.
You set the PSI there at your right at your gauge there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right about 2 bars, 29 PSI. That's
Perfect.
fan wide open. Good. Everything's wide open. Good. Max flow on everything. So. This really turned out sweet.
Wow, this looks good.
I really know how to run a paint gun. Nice.
Run a paint. Gosh, check out this subframe. This is gonna look good under there. Oh no, there's a drip.
That's extra corrosion protection right there.
Wow, this is an impressive frame painted up. It looks a lot better.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Huh. Well, there you go. That looks good.
I like it.
Yeah. At least got a little overspray, but that's okay. Little overspray.
Better than the alternative. It would have gotten a lot of overspray. Right, so now that the front bumper's off, it's time to get the lower valence off. Matt started working on that yesterday, but I'm going to take over and get it off the rest of the way.
I've got to disconnect the speedometer cable and get the e-brake cable nuts broken loose, which are absolutely seized on there, and take it out of the subframe. Let's see if this, if I can rig up a way to do this under here.
No, wow, going full tilt. I like it.
Here it goes.
There you
no
go.
problem. Oh, crusty. Hey, ready to hook up to our new transmission. Kidding. Let's cut a brake line. This is how you get it done quick.
No, that's easy.
Oh, is that anticlimactic? Well, we're ready to drop the subframe now. First thing with dropping a Camaro subframe, you want to disconnect the core support first so that you don't rip off your front end sheet metal.
Oh, that's important, yeah.
Because otherwise, if I just let it rip, it might just like literally rip right out. Question is there fuel in the fuel tank that's gonna leak when I cut this? Cut the evap line first. Or return line or whatever it is. There goes the fuel line. Get on it. There goes the gas. Seriously, there's gas in the line. Oh no. Just about out. One for each side. Well, there's something on there. It's generally blocking off the flow, so we'll call it good at that. And this thing can just kind of... Yeah, see, we're all drained out of that. Nothing else is coming out. Well, I've been working on this front end here, trying to get this lower valence off for way too long. I finally got the 2 bolts out that hold it on this side, they actually came out. This side really got interesting, and I had to use the cutoff wheel, cut off a couple, and one broke off, I think. And we got the center bolt holding it in still, and then I believe there's two hidden back up in here too that I'll have to get to as well. Yeah, the bolt just comes right loose when Aaron's filming. This here is an extended cutoff wheel that makes getting bolts out of tight places easy. This particular one is made by AirCat. It works really good. Our bushings are something else, I tell you. There's nothing. Good thing we're changing them out. Yeah, this thing just blasts right apart, no problem. Let's go get some more jacks.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Got the jack. Well, either this is going to come all crashing down, or it'll just nicely unbolt. Rear subframe bolt removed, and only subframe bolt for this side of the car. Look at those! Look at the dry rot on that bushing. Ta-da! This thing's ready to drop out of here. What do you say we try lowering down the jack in the front here first a little bit and kind of like lower the front down, and then we'll go to the sides and lower that down? Permanent power brakes. Going down. Copyright strike. What? Yeah.
Oh, that's one way to get a drum off.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What in the Wasilla?
Wow. You mean Talkeetna? This car needs a new pair of shoes.
That's
Brake shoes, that is.
So crusty. Commence drop. Commencing drop. Copyright strike.
Hold on.
Finding all the points of contact.
No, it's weird as this was just sitting here like this and this outer thing was blown off of it. It kind of makes me wonder what happened. It's like, huh. From our 67 fire. Gotta get it all lowered down here, looking good.
There's nothing good looking about this.
Is the heater core toast in this thing, I wonder?
I wonder. Well, we ought to pull it apart. Let's take this apart and clean it.
Sounds good to me. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
That's it, okay. Thank you.
Right on, thanks.
Well, our order has come in.
Exciting times.
New parts for the Firebird build.
The good news is, once we pulled this drivetrain out of the Firebird, there was somebody who found it on Facebook Marketplace and was happy to put it in their parts stash for their own project, and it's slated to be repurposed into another Firebird someday in the future.
The total width of the engine is 28 inches from the edge of the turbocharger on the outside here, and then the intake manifold is just one long, big like runner that kind of comes back. Well, that's a shame. We'll just have to put a vintage air system in it and just do everything brand new. Dang. Dude, that was a really unfortunate. That sounds like a great idea to me. Worst case is it just gets a heater block-off plate. Ding! Well, I'm going to start with taking the heater box out. I think that's a good thing to do. It sucks we can't use that because it would be so cheap and easy to just leave that system in place and just put a new core in it. Going to round off in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Seriously? All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's actually not that bad. It's a shame, though. I think it's time to clean up this firewall. I have found the tool. Here you go. That's not what we want. You're right. We want the small, like, toothbrushy little looking thing. Here you go. So here we have some water-based degreaser. Let's see if this is like pretty much just like bug and tar remover. Will that clean it right up, or we need to go another level here? Let's see. There's a fair amount of road dirt, so you need a water-based cleaner of some sort to get this off. The solvent-based degreaser won't really touch it, unfortunately. Shoot, I think we're in business. That actually works pretty good. I wonder if this is just... What? Here you go. The bolts just stayed with it. The nut blades just fell out of it. That's like the perfect amount of rust. That's gone, but this is fine. Like, huh?
It would be like a dash 10. What we normally do with these is use a dash 10 push lock hose. The push lock will fit right over this 5/8 barb, and then you can use an AN style fitting. These fittings we have machined locally. They have the correct depth and flare to seal into these pumps specifically. Bolting the pump to the bracket is
Slow video.
very straightforward.
Yeah.
The question is,
power steering pump.
the question is, controller necessary or not?
Got your 8mm
If he
bolts
gets
in
into
it.
electrical here or something, he's still working. Here we go. That looks like he's holding the electrical connector.
That.
When wiring these, the two small wires are used for speed control. We usually just delete those. Don't use those. Otherwise, simple power ground. And these pumps do pull some amps under normal use, normal steering use, about 30 to 40 amps, about 15 amps just idling. And they can pull upwards of 50, 60, 70 amps even, depending on what kind of load you're putting on it. I do recommend wiring these to a switch.
Pretty much just relay it to a switch in the interior that you can turn the power steering on. That'll run your battery dead in a hurry. Don't forget that on.
Yep.
I say it's go. Let's buy it. It's
I think so
expensive,
too.
but it'll get the job done. So my dad bought a truck in Bud Lake, New Jersey. So my dad bought a 2019 GMC AT4 double cab truck. It's basically his dream truck.
I'm going to drive about 4,400 miles back up to Anchorage, Alaska, but along the way, I'm going to see if I can find a suspension kit for this car from a supplier that would happen to have one in stock. Before I left, we tried calling Summit Racing, but the guy on the phone wasn't too helpful. He ended up not giving us any information. I couldn't get a dimensional weight or pallet size out of him, so I don't even know if the DSE subframe that they have in stock will fit in the back of the truck.
They also had a HEIDTS subframe and a SpeedTech subframe in stock, but they were only in their Texas warehouse, which isn't on the drive back to Alaska. Instead, we started looking for suppliers on the way back for awesome chassis solutions. On a whim, I decided to call HEIDTS to see if they had a subframe that would be able to fill up this space.
Somehow they did.
They had it in stock, and they were able to package it all up and have it ready to ship, so Aaron could slide by on his way back and pick it up on a pallet. To fill up this space, we've decided to run a 275/35 R18 tire. So we've bought the tires so that we can fit them in here and then get the wheel spacing tool to get our offset and dimensions to send to Forgeline.
The tires of choice are a Nitto NT 555.
So let's face it, the redeeming factor is when you open this hood, it needs to look good. And this junk doesn't look good. It's rusty. So we need to clean up the inner fenders and make this actually a presentable engine bay while the exterior remains original.
Okay.
Huh. Weird. So someone really straightened this fender out at one point. Luckily, they never painted it.
Well, the 88,000 miles is really a redeeming factor on this guy, I guess. Now, you have not stripped that.
Waiting till it spins around.
Right.
There it goes. Wow, that's some serious undercoating buildup. Only one bolt remaining.
Well, that's different. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but it's worth a shot. The fact that these came out without stripping on all four of them, that's crazy.
Ready for a new coat of Rust-Oleum right on over it. Sand it back if we wanted to.
Smells like grape jello out here.
Ah! I have the fix for the underside.
Well, it's not going to rust out with that stuff on there.
No, definitely not. Well, we can test the Firebird out on this as a test track.
Yeah, if it clears, doesn't scrape bottom on this, then we're set for the Alaska highway.
Yep. Gloss, gloss, flat.
I love your old man wheel.
Yeah, I got the 18-inch steering wheel here.
Oh.
Feel the power.
This thing is decidedly cool.
It is super cool. Just doesn't get driven enough. None of my junk gets driven enough. No, I think we need to just open her up here.
We made it. There's only some scraping going on down the driveway, but we made it. And no biggie. This thing's brand new. Holy cow, what a nice wiring harness. This is literally perfect. I mean, we've got, it looks to be, let's see here. We've got our engine connectors here. I think. Maybe that's one of the engine connectors? I'm not sure. We should almost open up the ECU and take a look at it. Assuming that maybe goes into like the fuse box. Looks like we've got alternator power, which is actually great because I think that Northwest just chopped off the wiring on that other one. And we've got some other power here. This might be a little bit different than the harness we have. Huh, well cool. Now it also has the electric power steering thing pre-wired into it. So we can just hook up our electric power steering pump right to it. Well, let's get the suspension sorted and get this thing in here so we can start on the fun stuff, the assembly.
Let's put the subframe on.
Yeah. Put yourself here. That is a nice subframe. That's not working. Like we might need to get a die grinder out and just like buzz it out to get it opened up enough to get these in here. How do you think it looks? It's a nice tight fit. That's what I'm saying. It's not gonna work right. Dun, dun, dun. Piece of cake. Do you need a ratchet for that size? Here you go. Here we go. You gonna lift it up? You ready? Yeah. Oh, it did go, okay. I always align the subframes with a large dowel. Basically, there's a nice alignment hole here, and you want it to be straight up and down with it. So. That's pretty good. Oh, let's go ahead and torque this one down, and then we'll go over to the other side. Gosh, that looks pretty good right there. This is a nice tight frame. It tucks up in here good compared to the original. Look at how much narrower the frame rail is here. That's crazy. That's like the easiest thing ever. I was thinking we needed a 2-post lift, but no, you don't need a 2-post lift to change a Camaro subframe. You just need some jack stands, some wheel stands, some jacks. And a lot of ambition. And a lot of ambition and 2 guys, and you can change out a whole subframe. Sweet. Super easy. Now we need to test fit our 2-liter LTG crate engine in here. Crate engine, aka junkyard engine, and see how it fits. Hey, it arrived to us on a crate. It did. We also need to pick up some engine mounts to mount to the HEIDTS subframe to figure out how we're going to mount this in here. But I almost say the next thing is painting up the satin black parts and then getting the drivetrain assembled. Yep. Putting that all together and dropping it in the subframe. Yep. Now what's hacking over here? A whole lot of nothing. It's a little bit of a rusty metal preventative. See, they say paint over rust, so that's what I intend to do. So. Perfect. It's doing what the product was intended to do. Got the correct painting shoe installed here. The best will do. I think this stuff cleaned up. Actually cleaned up pretty good. That's for sure. I took apart the front end of the car, gave the stuff a quick media blast, and it's hung up here in the booth now. I'm gonna spray it out with a little bit of epoxy sealer, and this is kind of the get it done good enough mentality and not spend a ton of money on this since stuff's kind of like factory paint is still on the firewall. So naturally, going a little bit cheap here, I'm gonna use the world's best Alkyd enamel. Is it good? No. Is it catalyzed? Absolutely not. Will it look okay? Probably. But it's all going over an epoxy primer sealer. Yeah, so up here there's a little bit of surface rust. Matthew wire wheeled off these inner fenders, and I treated this with some Pour 15. I let it cure overnight, and I've sanded it back with 400 grit, so it's all ready to go for the epoxy sealer to go on top of it. This is a moisture cured urethane, so it should be good to go on that regards. And then on the back side, I also wire wheeled this little bit out, and once I get this sprayed out, I'm going to flip them over and spray some USC Defender epoxy bed liner on it to give it the maximum stone chip, rock chip prevention. What am I trying to say?
Rock chip prevention.
Yep. And I'll just mix up some of this, a little bit of Wanda 7000, spray one coat of that, let it cure for about an hour, come back and top coat it with.
You like the Firebird? Okay.
This looks like 100% factory. Look at these inner fenders, holy cow. I think I nailed it.
Oh, it's great.
That's so funny.
Transmission or an engine first?
I think the engine first.